I'm Becky Sauerbrunn, and this is my story. I would say on the field, I'm kind of a no-nonsense defender. Fly under the radar. I think it's a good game if you don't hear my name a whole lot. I've never been a real attention seeker on or off the field, and I think defenders are kind of known for being really blue collar. And so, yeah, I think that fits my personality, and I think that kind of drew me to the position in the first place when I was younger. Being a professional athlete is really tough, and I think people think it's very glamorous, and I think there are absolutely parts of this job that are very glamorous, but it's very difficult. You're away from your friends and family for large parts of the year. Every single day you're in this really tough environment where you're competing against world-class players. You're also competing with yourself, and that can be really taxing. And I think reading for me is my way of getting out of that kind of grind and finding a moment's peace, and it allows me to be my best that next day when I do have to go back into the grind. Reading has just enriched my life. I think I've been opened up to all these different ways of thinking and ways of viewing things, and I don't think I would get that if I hadn't read. I think reading is a good distraction. I also think that sci-fi and fantasy in general, the genre, it actually is kind of a commentary on society at the time the book was written most of the time. So yeah, it can be escapism, but it also can be just a different way of viewing issues that are going on in society at that time. And I think it's a good way of young readers to learn about tolerance and right versus wrong, and what makes someone different is actually something to love about them. When you grow up and you really want to fit in, you try to be as cool as you possibly can. And for me, it always felt like I was performing. I always knew in my heart, I was a nerd, loved reading, loved video gaming, things that my friends weren't really doing at the time. And then I think as I got older, I started to embrace that, really came to love that part about me. Finding myself in that way, I've become just kind of a happier, more balanced person. A lot of these sci-fi fantasy books, the main characters are kind of these introverted, nerdy characters. So I do find ways that I can identify myself in these characters. And for me, I think that helps that if I'm confronted with a problem, I feel like I can see different solutions and different ways of viewing what's inside the box. As a defender, what goes on in my mind when I'm going up against a player like Tobin, I have to match her creativity. I have to be able to imagine what she's able to do with the ball so that I can defend her. And so creativity, I think, can be expressed in many different ways. And for me as a defender, I don't think people really see it, but I do see myself as being a creative player that way.